days are here again, the sun above. I don't remember the rest of the word of that song, which sucks because it's the opening to the Rose Remarks podcast. Anyway, hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for the round of Duck Comics. Yeah, so this is our first Don Rosa comic. We want to get the jump on this one because something's coming. Something's coming. You can probably guess what's coming. Probably not. If you know, you know. So I was looking for a Rosa comic to review, and this is sort of my problem. I came to the conclusion when I was on the Rosa Remarks podcast for Metaphorical Spanking, and I realized I put a lot of emphasis on Rosa's big and fantastic stuff, and I don't appreciate his smaller sort of slice of life stories. And to make up for that, I go with the story that clearly isn't slice of life. But anyway, I decided to talk about a personal favorite of mine, Donald Duck Adventures: The Money Pit. And this is really just Rosa calling out a certain group. And he does it very, very well. So anyway, let's get into it. Our story opens up in my favorite location, the Money Bin. And we see Donald and the boys cleaning up. Like cleaning the house as you will. Alright? Polishing all the coins. It reminds me of a line from the DuckTales episode Time Tease, and you just stack all the coins by date, by value, and by dinner time. But anyway, the boys are having fun, as they tend to. Their best trait is they will always find a way to make work seem like play. Donald, meanwhile, is starting to lose his mind. Alright? While the boys are making a model of Fort Duckburg, Donald is starting to hallucinate, seeing that there's like two heads on the coin, and he needs to quit. What happens is, well, the boys point out, actually, according to our Junior Woodchuck guidebook section on coin collecting, because of course it does, they say, actually, no, this is a misprint coin. Donald thinks like, it's worthless. Like, no, it's worth hundreds of dollars. And he's like, ugh, okay. And the boys like, hold on there, hold on. They know what's happening. Don't get any ideas about how to cheat Uncle Scrooge out of some coins. Remember the last time this happened, i.e. this was called the story The Trouble with Dimes, or The Trouble of Dimes. And in that story, Donald tries to essentially trick Scrooge into giving him pretty much his dimes for dimes, or dollars for dimes. Each dime was worth about $5, and so on and so forth. So Donald was trying to get one over him, and Scrooge tricked him into flooding the market with those coins. As a matter of fact, Donald even takes a quote from Scrooge from that story: "Coins are only valuable if they're rare," and Scrooge is the one that makes them rare. But then Donald's like, well, you know what? If someone was smart and only selected a couple of coins each time, the boys are like, oh no, could we not? So anyway, it's like, no, I got an idea. I haven't learned a lesson at all. So Donald goes to Scrooge like, you know what? We'll work for half. We'll work for half our regular pay. Like, okay. And Scrooge's like, oh, and what's the catch? But just, I get to pick the coins that I'm paid with. Like, oh. Scrooge calls him out. I know exactly what you're doing, alright? You just happened to go by the coin collector on your way. And he's like, you know what, fine, yeah, sure, that's what I'm doing. And Donald says, yeah, that's what I'm doing, but you know what, those collectors will appreciate them more than you will. And Scrooge's like, that is where you're wrong. And Scrooge goes on his whole spiel. I think it's beautifully done, alright? Scrooge says coin collectors are the worst kind of people. Are just making me sick, alright? They only value things because other people put value on them. They take the coins, look them up in the books, and say, oh, it's worth this because someone else said it's worth this, alright? This nickel's not worth a nickel, alright? Someone said it's worth $10, so this nickel's worth $10. Scrooge finds that ridiculous. They don't even do anything with them, alright? They don't dive through it like a porpoise, burrow through it like a gopher, or even toss the coins up and let it hit them on the head. Or they don't even make little miniature forts out of them. Alright? It's ridiculous. They put them in the little plastic sleeves, alright, for fear that if they're touched, alright, it will lessen the value of them for someone else, right? Their whole purpose is to take the coins, alright? The coins, or the comics, and put them in the sleeves, and they don't want to mess with them because the whole plan is to sell them to someone else who will eventually sell them to someone else. It's just a whole circle of stupidity. All right. Donald says, so I guess this entire thing is what? This entire coin collection is what? You're like, hold on. All right. Scrooge points out every coin here has value to me. All right, independent of what anyone else says. And he points out, hey, I got this from Pago Pago, and I got this from this spot here. These are all memories. And Scrooge, gets up on his pulpit and says, like, I've learned to treasure that which has value to me, not somebody else. That is what life's all about. And even, I'm gonna say that's Dewey, looks at us and goes, that's the way. So yes, this is Rose's not so subtle jab at the collecting industry, in this case, the comic book collecting industry, because they are weird. Now, to be fair, I also keep my physical comics I have in sleeves, all right, but I read them. Yeah, they're there so I can keep them a bit longer. I don't want things spilling on them because I don't want to have to get another one, but I'll read them. I read them, and I love them. And there's even some memories attached to some things. There you go. But overall, it is worth what I paid for them. Not true, actually. If someone wants to pay me more for it, sure. But anyway. So Donald is presuming, so because you think they're worth more to you, you'll sell them for high prices. Like, Scrooge's like, not at all. Monetarily, they're worth their face value. That nickel is worth a nickel. All right. So you're saying I'll pick it? I get to pick my own coins. Like, if it saves me some wages, yeah, why not? So Donald does the thing. He goes and shows it the coin collector. I believe that's the same coin collector from The Trouble with Dimes, and this is in good condition. Donald poses the question, "Hey, are coins older than this even more valuable?" Donald's like, "Yeah, I got it. We don't need these. We're gonna go get some better ones." Scrooge points out, yes, I filled the bin from the top down, so the older coins are at the bottom. And no, you cannot borrow the channel dredger. Extra greed means extra work. All right, if you want to do that, you have to do it on your own time with your own money. Like, yeah, fine, I'll do it. And the boy's like, oh no, oh dear. We're buying mining equipment? Mining equipment, all right, fine. And Scrooge's like, the lower levels could stand to use some air to kill the mold on the greenbacks, but I really hope I know what I'm doing. So, we now see a mine shaft. Great work. So, as they're going through, as they're digging, they're getting more and more stuff, alright? There's a coin here that's worth $100,000, and there's a coin here that says only 5 of them exist. I have found a whole bag of them. All right, so keep that one, bury the rest. And then what happens? Donald becomes Donald, and he sees what? Gold coins. And he's like, you know what? This is what I want. He starts digging. Now remember, if you are digging a hole, all right, you cannot just go around willy nilly digging underneath. All right. Once you've got a set way to do it, you got to commit to it. Because as you see, he's got all these different, I don't even know what they're called. Wow, we're just killing the video. So anyway, let's just screw it. So, to quote Saruman, the duck dug too greedily and too deep. And what did he awake? Well, in this case, a landslide. Mine cave in. Yep. And a huge floop as everything comes rumbling down. All right, it's a huge disaster. It's felt throughout the entire building. And they go to get Uncle Scrooge. Like, the mine caved in. Like, oh no. All right, so they're going in. Everyone's freaking out. Okay, so let's get the treasure. All right, what do we have to dig? All right, and they don't know. And so they figure, okay, so Donald is able to communicate through the hoop, through the hose in the air tank. It's like, okay, so where are you? Donald says he fell into an air pocket, and he needs to figure out where to go. Like, okay, so how? It'll take at the bare minimum a month to dig out this entire bin. Donald's not going to last that long. He's okay. So Donald, all right, can you grab the hose? All right, just grab a coin, just any coin, all right. and I want you to put it through the hose and blow as hard as you can out. All right. So he does. He does. It knocks him straight in the head. And Scrooge is able to identify the coin like, that's a gold doubloon I found while diving in the Spanish Main. I know exactly where those are buried. So, an hour later, in which case Donald had a lot of air left over, they're able to dig him out, and we're all feeling really good. And Donald's like, you know what? I'm not going in there. I'm not going back in there. That coin has to be in my pay. And to be fair, that is understandable considering what he just went through. So the question is that coin worth anything? Scrooge says it's a 1786 Brasher doubloon. The only coin rarer than it is a 1916 quarter that Scrooge would rather not talk about. The Sunken City story, where Scrooge had a quarter for $10 squillion. All right, so we're like, you know what? I'm in. There we go. He takes it, and this is sort of where I think we sort of missed the mark here. All right, where Donald wants to sell the coin. The boy's like, but that coin saved your life. Does it mean anything to you? And he's like, yeah, it means, a better life, luxury, and whatnot. The boys go, well, I don't know. No matter what the price is, it won't be no amount of money equal to having our Uncle Donald back. And, to me, that's sort of like weird. So it's like, the coin saved your life. Shouldn't you, value it more? I'm like, sure, but I can sell it, and not only did it save my life, made my life better because I'm rich. But anyway, Donald rage quits, like, fine, take the coin back. Scrooge catches it like a Chad, like, with his pocket, like, there we go. Fine, but you know what? There'll be no more digging in that bin, all right? All right, I'm not going to risk you collapsing in there again, all right? My insurance rates will skyrocket. Well, fine. There's nothing paperwork I can do, like, fine. All right, there is something you can do. You can sort my mail, all right? All of my mail. Consider the fact that I have businesses all over the world. That's a lot. This is the mail I didn't read or was able to read while I was traveling around the world building this empire. So Donald continues to read. He starts to lose it. He sees one of the planes on the stamp. One of the stamps has a plane flying upside down. He's like, I can't do it. The boys look it up, like, that's actually a super rare stamp. They're like, you know what? No, screw it. Throw it out. Let's go. Let's leave. And that's how the comic ends. Ultimately, this story is just fun. I'm not going to lie. Commentary aside, I love the fact this entire story takes place in the Money Bin. Great. Love it. Like I said, Money Bin's one of my favorite spots. In the old DuckTales cartoon, it was my favorite location. To me, it was the hub world. All right, that's it. Donald is fun here. All right, this is classic Donald. All right, Donald's trying to find a way to get rich quick, as opposed to the actual work. The nephew's like, you shouldn't do that, Uncle Donald. You shouldn't. And he is. Okay, well, let's look. If we don't help him, he'll get in more trouble. All right, let's just go. Louis, come on, let's go. All right, so that's where they go. All right, and this is sort of the cover is pretty appropriate for it. All right, because he is just sort of going to get himself trapped in there, trapped in the money. The commentary, I think, makes sense. Scrooge commentary on the collector's market, even if you take out the fact that it's a jab at the comic book collectors, it works to pretty much all collectors. All right, why do you like this? If you like it because you like it, like for example, Hang on. I want to get something specific. All my specific stuff is all the way up there. Okay. Hang on. We'll go with one of these then. Here we are. This is actually a bit more tone appropriate. This is an old Uncle... Well, you can tell it's old Uncle Scrooge. I got this when I was 7. All right? And it was when my parents took him to Disneyland for my birthday. Oh, he has seen better days. All right, and I do have another one. I got it when the last time I went to Disney World, I believe, which was I was 21. All right, so God, I'm old. So here's the thing: this more than likely isn't worth much of anything anymore. Had it been kept in proper condition, probably. But one time when I went to visit family, I left it. Terrible about it, and they put it in the washing machine. So his whiskers are just terrible. So he has not been given the best of care, but I love him. He is mine. All right, and that is all the value to it. I don't care how much it's worth. I really don't. All right. Now there could be a tier below that, for example, which is my Funko collection. All right. I love Olivia Armstrong. I do. She is one of Full Metal Alchemist's top waifus. There's not a lot, actually. Pretty much they all are. But anyway, like I spent maybe $50 on it. Someone's offered me like $200 for it. I more than likely will. All right. Now there are some Funkos I value more than that because they may have been gifts from a friend. All right. I have a Charlie Brown Funko. Not coming off that. Not coming off that. Some Funko prices are ridiculous though. But anyway, we're going off a tangent here. The whole point is, by default, you should collect things that have meaning to you, things that you like. All right. You put it in a sleeve because, like, oh hey, I got it graded. It's worth this much, so it'll be worth more later. So I'll sell it later. I'm like, look, okay, clever business. It's a good business idea, kind of. But you know, one or two is fine. But you're like, hey, I've got an entire wall full of books I'll never read. And it's not because I'm a book goblin. It's because I plan to just sell them off to someone else. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. First of all, I get impatient and sell them earlier. I'm like, you know what? Fine. How much is this? Like 100? Fine. You know, well, 10 years will be worth 200. 10 years worth 2,000. I might not live that long. There you go. I'm unhealthy. There we. But anyway, that sort of is the story to it. But there's a lot of fun little lore here to reference to the Trouble of Dimes, the Sunken City. Again, the Money Bin. We're digging the sort of mine shaft in there. Love it. Scrooge's again talk about it. The nephews. Apparently, the Junior Witcher Guidebook has a whole coin collection chapter on the value of coins. I don't. And stamps. Alright? It really is just a huge nerd compendium. Alright? It's weird. It's weird. It's gonna have Batman's secret files and I'll take out the Justice League too. Alright? New and update. Like Tower of Babel era and post Tower of Babel. Alright? It's gonna be wild. Gonna be wild. It's just overall it is a fun story. Like I think the story is more about the message and the humor to it than anything else. Donald losing his mind each time I think is fun, but I think ultimately we do come back to the message. Favorite part by default to me is just Scrooge's entire speech on the whole absurdity of the collector's market. Also, this does sell Rosa's Scrooge, so there was this sort of one big decision Rosa made that I think we should all be there for, all be behind. I know Rosa is, people love or hate Rosa, all right? Some are indifferent to him, all right? Those are the best people. Indifference, it works when it comes to people. But anyway, how we interpret the money is sort of, I think, key. And I think we can come back to two stories that I think really shaped Rosa's approach to Scrooge. At least off the top of my head. That's going to be Only a Poor Old Man and Back to the Klondike. Those two stories sell Scrooge's history as well as the importance of his life. Like there are moments in his life that help shape who he is. So the money isn't just random coins. He knows every coin, every dollar, and every story behind it. And pretty much every other story, the money is just money. That's it. There's no anything to it. Like these coins came by. This is just part of the shipment. That's it. But here, Scrooge's like, this dollar here saved my life in Whitehorse. There you go. That's it. And that entire bin is Scrooge's life story. So it's sort of weird when he's letting Donald pick the coins, but I think overall he knows specifically which ones. All right. So it works. One could argue if you really think about it, it doesn't. But that message, the importance of that, which we'll see in stuff like The Life of Scrooge. All right, the life, the adventure is all right there. Or not, actually, kind of is. But anyway, that is The Money Pit. Really fun 10-page story. It was really hard to not drag this out more. But, yeah, this was fun. Might be one of my favorite stories. Although, we shall see. So anyway, with that, my brings to a close. If you're new to the Bucket Think, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some of the videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think, signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.